Hey everyone, this is Matt. I'm back. Guess who's back? I'm back. That's right. I'm back after a much-needed 2-week-long vacation. It was great. It was just what the doctor ordered. It was just awesome, right? So I'm here today. My first video back. I'm gonna be doing the Yu-Gi-Oh TCG October 2022 ban list reaction. Now, I know this video is 2 weeks old or a week and a half or whatever. I know that everyone else has already put out the reaction videos. It's not cool anymore. But fuck it. I want to talk about it. I put out a quick little picture post reacting to the ban list briefly. Some of you saw that, but I really feel like I got to put out a video post so that I can air out all my feelings. All right, so let's get into it. Starting with the unlimited list. So Dynamite, the True Draco Fighter, has been unlimited. That's kind of expected. In my ban list prediction video, I did say that should happen. Cyber Angel Ben 10. So I did not predict this, although it's not that unpredictable because like they already put it to 2. It kind of made sense that they would go to 3, but honestly, like I think Drytron was already fine like with Ben 10 at 1. Like I don't know why they put it at 2 and then 3, but whatever. It's not all that surprising. Shooting Riser Dragon is back up at 3. This is the most head-scratching limit that we've ever seen in the ban list. I don't know why it ever went to 1 because nobody ever really played more than 1, but it's back at 3 as it should be. Fusion Destiny back to 3. Hero players rejoice. I am a hero enjoyer. I enjoy playing heroes. I do play heroes sometimes, and it's nice to have Fusion Destiny back at 3. Since Anaconda's gone, other decks are not spamming DPE right on all their opening boards. So I think it's good that heroes can get this back because, yeah, it's a really good card. One card DPE, right? And also, actually, it's not just a one card DPE. It's a one card DPE plus Dark Angel. So if you're playing heroes, so if you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. Hero players, you know exactly what that means. Nadir's Servant to 3. So I was always of the opinion that this card should have gone to 1. Yeah, decks like Invoked Dogmatica DPE fell out of favor. Obviously, you don't see Dogmatica package as much anymore, but still, Nadir Servant was just too good of a card, right? And especially now that they put out that Garura monster, which they literally get to draw a free card now off of Nadir Servant. Yeah, I still think this card should be at 1. It's just too good. But I mean, I'm not that surprised that they put it at 3 because like it was sitting at 2 for some strange reason, and like, well, there's no point in leaving it at 2. Just put it at 3 or 1, right? I think it should have gone to 1, but they put it at 3. Not all that surprising. Trickstar Light Stage to 3 and Wall Revealing Light to 3. Both of these I predicted because they were at 2 before. There's no reason why it didn't make any waves when they moved from 1 to 2. 2 to 3 I don't think will make a difference either. So overall, relatively straightforward on limit list. Not that surprising, honestly. Let's move on to limits. The limit section. So limit section is interesting. So we have here Blackwing's Team the Cloak. I never played in the Blackwing format. I haven't played in Edison, so I don't know how busted this card was, but this is one of the tuners that can like spawn a token. Similar to Mecha Beast, Phantom Beast, O-Line, which is also a tuner that can spawn a token, which has also been, so both these cards are banned, and these cards are now at 1. So why are they at 1? You should know why. You'll see in the ban section in a bit, but yeah, these were one of the tuners that got banned because of Halka Fabrics, or 2 of the tuners, right? Cyberjar is back at 1. I don't think this matters. Cyberjar hasn't been relevant. It's probably will never be relevant because it's a flip monster. So yeah, whatever. Substitute is back at 1. When you see the ban list, you'll know why. But yeah, this card again, I was never around for it. Like the Toto TK, or FTK, I don't know what it's about. But I guess it came back because other Toad cards got hit in this list. Spellbook Adjustment back at 1. I think that's fine. I guess people can like do the jogging thing again, but whatever. A Pointer of the Red Lotus at 1. All right, so this is kind of this is slightly head scratching. So here's the deal, folks. I don't know about y'all locals, but at my locals, everyone main decks Dark Ruler No More, and a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people side deck a Pointer of the Red Lotus, right? And the reason people be siding a Pointer of the Red Lotus is because when everyone is running Dark Ruler No More, you really got to have that Point of the Red Lotus to stop the Dark Ruler No More, right? So usually you're going first, you set up a board, you don't want to get Dark Ruler No More. You set a Point of the Red Lotus. On their draw phase, they draw a card, you flip a pointer, you pay 2,000, you look at their hand, you rip out Dark Ruler No More or Evenly or whatever annoying board wipe card that they have. Because, yeah, a lot of people are playing Dark Ruler No More in the main deck. So, yeah, Point of Red Lotus suddenly became really popular in the side deck. Honestly, a Point of Red Lotus is one of those cards that was always good. It's a card that it rips cards out of people's hands, which I've never been a fan of the mechanic of getting rid of cards from your opponent's hand. but a pointer was a trap card, so it was, it's not really searchable. It's not that searchable, and it's pretty much only good for going first. So I think it was fine. But I mean, if Konami was kind of noticing that a pointer was starting to be played again a lot, I can see why they would limit. They want your opponent to be able to do something, I guess. And if you just rip out their best card from their hand, and you get full knowledge of their hand, you know exactly the best time to negate, etc. Like how many extenders they have. Yeah, that's a lot of game knowledge. So this is at 1. So in my Flu Wanderers deck profile for TCG, for those of you who've watched my videos, I did have 3 pointer Red Lotus in my side deck. Why? Because if you're Flu Wanderers, you set up your M-Pen and your Barrier statue. If you flip a pointer on their draw phase and look at their hand, they're done. Like, you take out Dark Ruler no more. Like, if they have evenly match and they try to battle phase, you go into Avion, Apex Avion. They can't evenly. They can't out Dark Ruler. They can't do anything under Barrier statue. Like, you'll just win. Like every time I saw a pointer of the Red Lotus going first as Flaunderies, I won. So it's plus a pointer. By the way, now it's the fact that it's at 1. I'm still gonna play in my Flu deck, because people are still main decking Dark Ruler no more, as far as I'm aware of. But I mean, granted, I haven't played at locals or any Yu-Gi-Oh since so this October, 3rd ban list, so it's active now. But so I haven't really played it under. But I assume people are still going to be main decking Dark Ruler no more. Probably. Yeah, like Flaunderies can recycle a pointer using Ryza. So yeah, it's still going to be a really good Flu card. I'm just going to replace the other 2 copies with other things, as you'll see probably in another video. So yeah, so that was surprising that Konami actually hit this, because I can understand why they did, right? So it's not that surprising. Alright, Fairy Tail Forbidden List. So Fairy Tail Snow back on the list. It got banned. Honestly, I don't really care. Fairy Tail Snow does almost nothing to Eldritch. So I know it was a menace in combo deck matchups, because it's just like you mill it for free, and then you just get like a free interruption that is not hard once per turn. It can Bukamoon a card. It's a pretty good card. I can see why it was banned originally. In general, cards that are not hard once per turn are in general problematic. Like if Fairy Tail Snow was hard once per turn, I can probably say it could stay at 1, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, Snow gone. Ronin Toadin. So instead of banning Totally Awesome, they decided to ban Ronin Toad, which was, the sprite deck was basically turboing Toad using a combination of Swap Frog summoned off of Gigantic Sprite, milling Ronin Toadin, and then Ronin Toadin reviving himself, right? Making Elf revive Swap mill another Frog, right? So I was of the opinion that, hey, if you're not gonna hit Swap Frog, if you're not gonna ban Totally Awesome, you should at least limit Swap Frog. But they instead decided to ban Ronin Toadin, which means that if I'm not mistaken, until Sprite gets their new card, so I think in Darkwing Blast, Sprite is getting the Sprite Sprint card. Until they get that card, so for the short amount of time, maybe like a month that we have until that set comes out, I don't think they'll be making Toad. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But so I know that Sprite players are making Toad with the new Sprint card, but I don't think they can make it yet. At least not easily. Not without hard opening Swap Frog in hand, which is very low probability, right? So comment down in the comment section if you think otherwise. If they're still making Toad without the Sprite Sprint card, because I don't think they are. So Krishna Hockey Firebrax. This card is finally fucking dead. Finally. It's dodged so many ban lists. It's been a menace. Alright, so the holy trio, folks, of broken Link 2 monsters that incorporate other summoning mechanics. Verde was for fusions, Electromite was for pendulums, and Krishna Hockey Firebrax was for synchros. Now, all 3 are banned. Electromite is banned, Verde is banned, Hockey Firebrax are banned. All 3 were unhealthy for the game, okay? Now, for those of you who are aware of the state of the TCG, Electromite was pseudo-replaced with a card called Beyond the Pendulum. It's a Link 2 monster that is linked using pendulums, and it's not quite as good as Electromite, but it basically fills in. It takes over the role of Electromite. So whatever Electromite did before, Beyond the Pendulum kind of does, right? Maybe to a more healthy degree, because Konami realized, hey, this is the problem. This is why Electromite was a problem. But hey, if we make another Link 2 for pendulums, we can make it not as problematic, and they did. Beyond the Pendulum is not a degenerate card, as far as I'm aware. So, I think there is a way to re-release. So they re-released Electromite, basically. I think there's a way for them to re-release Verde and Crystal Halcyon Firebricks. Now, not necessarily those names, but like, give me a Link 2 that Fusion decks can use, but not be abused for every deck or other like generic meta deck, right? Same with Crystal Halcyon Firebricks, right? Give me a Link 2 that Synchro decks can use, but will not be abused, where you have like a one card equals like 5 negations or whatever, right? Or where you can just build whatever board you want. So I think it's possible they can release Link 2s that can be healthy for the game, right? Um, for Fusion and Synchroing. And maybe they will. I mean, after what happened with Beyond the Pendulum, that's just a hunch that I got. That I think one day they will release a new replacement for Verde Anaconda that will be a lot healthier, and same with Halcyon Firebricks. I mean, honestly, it doesn't take much to make these cards healthy. Like for Verde, you can just add a clause. You can only fusion summon the turn that you use Verde, except with the exception of Verde, right? Like locks your whole turn into fusions. I think would make it a lot healthier. I mean, maybe there's an easier fix or like a more obvious one, but just that would make it. Same with Halcyon Firebricks. Like if Halcyon Firebricks said you can only synchro summon with obviously itself as an exception the turn that you use its effect, then not for the rest of the turn, the whole turn, right? Then I think it would be a lot more balanced card. Or even just saying like, whatever tuner is summoned, like maybe it summons to where the link arrow points to. Like there are plenty of fixes that you can do that, and then maybe you can only synchro monsters that this card points to. Whatever. There's ways to fix the concept, right, of a powerful Link 2 that can help out Fusion decks or help out Synchro decks, right? Anyway, so Chrison finally dead. Good riddance. You will not be missed. Also means Sky Strikers can't make access code with 2 cards anymore. Get fucked. Yeah, fuck Sky Strikers. Bullshit, stupid deck. Chaos Ruler, the Chaos Magical Dragon. So I don't care about this card against combo against my deck. List doesn't do anything, right? But it's a really good card in combo decks. It's basically like a discount, budget, painful choice, right? It's a very good card. Very, very good card. A lot of people ask for this to be banned. I can see why. It's just way too generically good of a card. It's banned. Good riddance. I don't care that much. It doesn't really change my playstyle because I play mostly control decks. But I'm glad that combo decks that have been abusing it are no longer going to be doing so. Red Reboot banned, baby. Yes, this is the card that I've been calling for to be banned for a long, long time. My last 2 or 3 ban list prediction videos, I'm like, Konami, yo, this card needs to go. This card is cancer, okay? So alright, so let's break down why Red Reboot is absolute cancer. It is a brainless card. What does that mean? That means that if you can activate Red Reboot, you should activate Red Reboot. That is the only decision making. Like if you were to create a flowchart, a decision making tree of when should you use Red Reboot. If you can activate Red Reboot, if it is activatable, then you should activate it. Period. Like there's almost never a situation where you can activate it and you don't. Because again, if you're playing, obviously it was a side deck option, right? You're playing against a control deck, you're a combo deck. You Red Reboot them, they literally can't do anything, and then you just OTK because every combo deck can OTK. In Yu-Gi-Oh, like assuming the rest of your hand isn't 100 total breaks, right? You can one card you can probably OTK, right? Going second against a controller trap based deck, right? And the only friggin' counter is Solemn Judgment. It's like, but I can't tell you the number of times I cited in 3 Solemn Judgments, saw none of them, and then they had the one copy of Red Reboot. It's such a bullshit card. Like cards like Call by the Grave have some decision making. Hey, do I want to use Call by the Grave on this hand trap, or is there another hand trap that I'm more worried about later, or do I want to save it for their turn so that I can stop one of their crazy plays, right? Like there's actually some level of decision making, or you kind of have to think a little bit for a card like Call by the Grave, right? When people say it's like stupid broken, right? There's no level of thought, decision making, nothing when it comes to a card like Red Reboot. If you can activate it, you activate it. Period. Like that's just I've never seen a situation. I've played many times against Red Reboot and even decks with Red Reboot where Red Reboot can be activated. The player has it and they don't activate it. I can never think of it. Like if it can be activated, it should be activated. Period. Like it's just one of those you can write a program to do it, to make that decision for you. Like no thought process, no rational thought whatsoever. It's just a stupidly broken card. It's a freaking spell speed 3 card that can activate from your hand. And it locks your opponent out of like one turn of traps. Oh, it's just one turn. It doesn't matter. You have OTK, the game is over, right? So good riddance to Red Reboot. Fuck that card. But oh, what about skill drain? Isn't skill drain also cancer? You can play around skill drain. If first of all, skill drain is not a card where if you like you monkey flip it on draw phase. The best time to flip skill drain is in response to the activation of a monster effect on the field, right? So not just shotgunning it, waiting until they actually commit resources and start playing the game and put like monsters out, right? Like you actually have to think about when the best time to flip a card like skill drain. Plus, guess what? If you skill drain on a combo deck, they can still play the game. They can still summon monsters. They can still attack you. And in fact, skill drain can very easily be outed by a number of cards. It can also be dodged, right? If you can activate a card, a monster effect on field, and then in the same chain tribute that monster or get it off the field, the effect goes through. Like there's so many ways to counterplay against a card like skill drain, right? It does not lock monster effects out from the graveyard or banish pile or the hand, right? It's still playable. Red Reboot creates a board state where it's unplayable. So this card absolutely needed to go. Like, good riddance. I'm glad clearly someone at Konami watched my video and they're like, yes, Red Reboot is a problem card because it fucking is. So, good riddance. Yeah. So, that's the list. A note: there is no Mystic Mine on this list. It's still at 3, baby. And guess what? I don't care because Eldritch doesn't care about Mystic Mine matchup because Eldritch has so many ways to out Mystic Mine, right? Conquistador, you have Punishments, you have technically Witch's Strike, right? What do you mean Witch's Strike? A lot of decks that, Mystic Mind burn decks, they run a card called Solemn Judgment or Dark Bribe. Guess what? Those cards negate the activation of your cards. And then on a new chain, you flip Witch's Strike. It blows up their field and hand, including Mystic Mine. So, yeah, Eldritch's hand effect can out Mystic Mine, assuming you can even activate it, right? Depending on the monster situation. Like, Eldritch doesn't really care all that much about Mystic Mine. There are outs to it, including, hey, they have Mystic Mine. We also run Solemn Judgment, and in my current deck, I'm also running Dark Bribe. So we have outs to Mystic Mine. So I don't really care that Mystic Mine is still illegal. In fact, the fact that Mystic Mine is still a 3 means, guess what, baby? Dark Magician is still in business. I'm gonna be playtesting more Dark Magician. The reason I haven't really done that much Dark Magician content is because I've been playing Dark Magician with Mystic Mine, and I was convinced that this ban list was going to hit Mystic Mine, and it did not. So therefore, we're going back to Dark Magician for a little bit. Still going to do Eldritch, still going to do some Flaunderies, but yeah, Dark Magician is back on the menu, boys. Stay tuned for that. So, yeah, I would say the only way this could have been a perfect ban list is if Scythe and Mystic Mine were also on this list, but that's okay. We can't, and instead of Run Until, we had Totally Awesome. That's okay. We can't get everything we want, but Konami did finally give us a ban list after like 6 freaking months or some absurd amount of time, right? So yeah. Anyway, so that's my ban list reaction. For those of you who've missed me, I have so much content to catch up on. Obviously, this is the first video I did back. The next video is going to be a Megatin unboxing. That's right. I'm the slowest Yu-Gi-Oh content creator at the moment because of my untimely vacation, right? I get back. I have a 2-week-old ban list to catch up with. I have a Megatins release to catch up with, right? I actually ordered my Megatins, 2 cases of Megatins. It was supposed to arrive before I went on vacation. It was actually scheduled to arrive the day before, and of course it arrived the day after I left. So I did not get to do that before I left. So yeah, next video will be Megatins unboxing. So hopefully we get some spicy pulls, right? Then more videos I got planned down the pipeline. Master Duel, Eldritch deck profile update video. Also a TCG Eldritch updated deck list, right? And maybe a Fluander. I'll have to think about it. But that's what's been on my mind lately. So yeah, just stay tuned for that. Hopefully you'll enjoy that, and hopefully I'll pull everything I want from the Megatins, right? Nothing will be short printed. Konami will have delivered everything as promised, right? And we'll have a good time. So, alright, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you're excited to be back watching my videos, as excited as I am to be back, making videos and playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And getting involved with Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. See you in the next video. Peace.